Happy Wednesday. I hope everybody's having a fantastic day today. I am thrilled about what we're going to be talking about today. I am so lucky to be able to have Dr. Tracy Kemble joining me for this chat. Dr. Tracy is somebody that I interviewed for my book, actually. Oh, and I see she's just joined. Dr. Tracy, if you'd like to request perfect, here we go. I was lucky enough to be able to interview Dr. Tracy for my book, and her story is just so inspiring. And here she is. Hi. How are you?
Hello, beautiful. How are you? Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm excited. It's been awesome. And it was so lovely to have you as part of it. Your story is so transformative and inspiring that it's just so great to be able to connect with you on this topic.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, I've been doing these interviews talking about creativity in our lives and in work and careers, and you've done so much to find the ability to use your unique creative skills to help empower other women. Can you talk a little bit about your life experience and how you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm lucky in a sense in that I come from I think a lineage of a spirit of entrepreneurs. So perhaps some of it is in my blood. But one thing that I've always known since I was young, it's just something that I innately just knew, is that I knew that our dreams were not like a foo-foo maybe in life, that the dreams that we've been given in our life have been given to us as directionals to teach us who we are and what we're supposed to do and be and accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've always just been very committed to that concept, even in the worst of times. And I just have never, I have never been, I've always been one who believes in the power of a dream. And I've always been one who, my baseline when it comes to dreams is that dreams are non-negotiable. So there's just not a space in my emotional and spiritual and psychological makeup that says that to not pursue my dreams is even an option in life. It's just not an option.
That's fantastic. I love that it's such a driving force for you, and it then inspires your passion to continue to instill that in others also. I love it.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. You have had this awesome idea. It's a little newer though, isn't it? Your 16 character.
You like 16?
I
Well,
love.
actually, you know what? I have to tell you an inside secret is that 16 is not new to me. That I live in Tracyland, Rose, and whenever it comes to, and I think it's one of the reasons why certain personality types are attracted to my empowerment programs, is because I make life change, self-improvement, recovery, whatever you want to call it, pretty simple. I kind of dumb it down to the basics, but I think that, it's how my brain needed to be able to process change. And so for years, when I used to have in the prior Tracy, and a lot of people struggle with this, that in the world of psychology, they might call it addictive thinking. Um, Sometimes it can manifest itself as anxiety. But it was just as though my thoughts controlled me.
Mm-hmm.
And what I discovered through my personal expansion, as I like to call it, is that there is a name for it. Some psychologists call it the pathological critic and whatnot, and it stems from a trauma wound. And when we don't go in and pick up a mess, it's no different than, like, can you imagine if you're driving down the street and there's a car accident that happened and the city didn't come in and pick up the mess and bring things back to normal? Well, that's what happens to our emotional being when we experience an internal trauma and we don't go pick it up. And that's all therapy and recovery and empowerment is. It's just picking up the lanes of your life and your thought process. So I learned something really profound many years ago in my personal improvement, and that was that there's me and
Mm,
there's the traumatized me.
mm,
Okay, and the thoughts that come with the traumatized me. Her name became 16. And the reason that I actually separated from myself is because in order to really create healing, you just need to make that space.
yeah.
You got to make that space. And when I made that space between there's Tracy, right? And then there's a traumatized Tracy. I'm not that person. That's my trauma wounds talking. And so the way she got 16, her name 16, is one day in my prayer and meditation time, I I got this vision. It kind of looked like the Last Supper table. And there were 17 seats at the table. And when I looked around the table, 16 was taking up like 15 of those seats.
Wow.
She didn't have her name 16 yet. Okay. So I realized, well, that's why life isn't working for me, is because this one trauma
Mhm.
persona that's inside of me. And I think that all women have at least 17 different personas inside of us, right? Because we're so dynamic and interesting beings that that I said, that's the problem, is I'm letting this overtake all the seats at the table instead
Mm,
of the one seat that it gets. It gets one seat at the table because that's a part of what I've experienced and who I am, right?
mhm.
So, I'm kind of like processing through this. I'm a very spiritual person. I do prayer and meditation every day. And in my prayer and meditation time, I initially called her 16 because there were 17 seats at the table and she was taking up 16. But in my prayer and meditation time, I said, why did I really, why did 16 come to my spirit when I was seeing all this in my mind's eye? And the download that I got was, because 1 + 6 = 7, and 7 is a magical miracle number. It's a complete number. It's a full circle number. And the parts of us that we feel are so ugly and we're ashamed of, that 16 in us, we're not
Mhm.
supposed to get rid of her. We're not supposed to pretend that she didn't exist, that she's just part of our makeup. And so she got her name 16. And whenever I'm getting ready for events, and my judger comes out, or my blubber woman comes out, or 16 has many costumes that she puts on.
Mhm.
And I was at our event this past week, and I'm getting ready, and I'm the president and the owner of Mrs. Globe, the largest pageant for Mrs. in the world, and I'm putting my makeup on, and all of a sudden 16 plops up on the counter in my mind's eye, and she's like, "Oh my God, you're so bloated," you
Oh.
know. And I respond to the thoughts by saying, "I am. Exactly how long have I been this bloated, right?" Instead
Mhm.
of keeping that space to go, "Not today, princess.
Mm,
Sit down. Today's my day to shine, not my day to be internally sabotaged by my past trauma wounds."
yes.
So that's how 16 was born. And I decided that morning to share it with the attendees. And what I found out is every woman in the room went, "Oh."
I have a 16, like everyone does.
We all have a 16. It's impossible to get through life without trauma. And it just makes it so much more safe when you're able to separate yourself from the trauma. And having the gift of knowing you're 16 allows you to do that, to continue on with your life, not having to run from your trauma, sometimes parking it. Okay, girl, listen, we'll come back to you, but not today. I have a book to execute.
Mm, yeah, yeah, exactly. Sometimes we just need to acknowledge and accept that parts of our lives that we don't want to. And while it's challenging, it can be, as like you've been saying, incredibly transformative and healing.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
that's amazing. How can we hear more about 16? Because you have a podcast, you have your programs. Tell me more about how we can access that.
So every Friday on my Instagram at 9:30 Pacific time, I have a show called 16 and Me, and it's really fun. I go in and I teach about, because I like to, I have to describe and educate people who 16 is, right? Because people are like, "So what is this 16?" And
Mhm.
so one of the things that I say is that what 16 does is she walks into our emotional closet, She takes a look around and she'll put on her wardrobe for the day. It can be the perfectionist wardrobe. It could be the judger. It could be the abandoner. Nobody likes me, and whatnot. So every week I try to take on a new outfit that she puts on that can sabotage us. And then I have a live guest come on the show and they share their 16 and we walk through how to thought stop, how to reprogram our mind, how to get our sweet 16 to sit down, princess, not today.
Mhm.
Because at the end of the day, our 16 launches. And again, as I said, it launches out of a trauma wound, is where the
Mhm.
original voice comes. But whenever she begins to chant at us today in our minds thought process, it's only because it's that fear of getting hurt again.
Mhm.
It could beat the crap out of us. It's the right motive with the wrong messaging,
Mhm.
and only
Yeah.
we have the power to reprogram the messaging.
I love it. And so then you go through that experience with your guest, and you show them how to do it, and then that gives others the opportunity to learn how to do it for themselves,
Well,
right?
that's where the power of recovery happens. And being like the feminine boss coach and teaching women how to run their businesses and how to be an entrepreneur and to step into their next expansion of self, that self-sustainability is one of the most important things that I think coaches or mentors need to pass forward. Because if anybody is relying on you and you walk out of their life, or you happen to pass to the other side, they're going to sink. Then you're not a good leader. A good leader is somebody who can move on and the ship keeps sailing.
Mm-hmm. That's amazing. Yeah. So I love that you are so adamant about passing along tools of empowerment, of healing, of recovery, because I think that they're all aspects of our life and how we move and how we create as well. Like it fuels different aspects of our mindset. And so the fact that you're able to pull it all together and like deliver it in 16 and in your other programs is fantastic. Um, I also wanted to touch upon quickly. So in my book, one of my favorite quotes of the whole book is when you are telling me about how creativity is part of our spiritual DNA. And I would love for you to elaborate on that idea a little bit more and how it plays into everything that you do.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm glad to know that you like that quote. Well, as I said, opening up on your show is that, first off, especially as a female, I mean, we are hardwired to be creators. Our body creates life. It carries life. And so I just believe that the creative nature, it's just a part of our, as you said, it's just a part of our spiritual DNA, and everybody has it.
Mm-hmm.
If I can just take a sidebar right now and give a little kudos to your book. Um, I can see some of my followers. I've noticed that they're on her. Um, is that one of the things that and anybody who I don't know, I had a chance to read through the book, and congratulations, I'm so proud of you.
Hey.
One of the biggest blocks that especially female entrepreneurs have
Mm-hmm.
is the lack of awareness. And that is like one of the very first things that just stops people along their journey. And what I really enjoyed about your book, and I recommend to all of those who are watching either now or in the future, that what I really love about your book is that it gives you the roadmap to creativity. Really starts at that basic element, because okay, to be honest, you cannot run a company and have it be sustainable if do not have creativity as one of your primary foundations. Absolutely impossible, because creativity adds to vision.
Yeah, exactly.
Creativity actually adds to execution as well. And so it's a fuel source. It's a spiritual fuel source that we need in order to move our beautiful life vessels or our work vessels forward. And so what I really liked about your book is how you just set out a very simple guideline to those of you who say, I don't even know how to be creative. I don't even know what creativity is, that you did an excellent job at laying that out.
Thank
The first steps of, okay, we all need creativity. Who, what, why, when, and how was
you.
really well done in your book. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. The last thing that you touched upon, how, I think that how is the most creative question that we can ask ourselves because like the what and the why, like their feelings and they're like tangible, but how is where we really have the opportunity to explore. And so I'm really glad that you were able to capture that and just get that from the book. I'm very happy and thank you for your kind words. I'm so excited about it. But your interview was featured in the aspect that I talk about, where about life experience and how life experiences influence how we create and how we think about creativity. And I touched a little bit about how you started your business of creativity because of your life experience. Like you were going through a difficult time and looking for help and couldn't find it. And so you were like, how can I get the help that I need that, and do other people need it? And how can I offer it? And you built this amazing, like global, huge business and a community, and just have gotten so much success because of your life experience. While it was so challenging to begin with, it led you here, right? Like it's
You know, one thing that I like to say to people who have gone through trauma and really feel beat up by it and feel a little bit life altered by it, I like to say, what if what you went through could serve as a flashlight to
mm,
somebody else? And what would that flashlight look like? Because part of recovery that I have found is being able to learn to make sense of the tragedy.
mm-hmm,
And when you use the difficult times that you've been through as a way to become a better person, as a way to find out what inspiration is or what grit is, or to dive deeper into your dream, it helps. It's very cathartic to the healing journey, to be able to understand that it wasn't all done in waste, that
mm-hmm.
greater purpose. Now, you know, people say, so, you know, does that mean that you are glad that you went through the abuse? No, not at all. But you know what, Rose? Sometimes in life, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And crap happens. And bad crap happens to good people. And so, what are we going to do? Lay down and build an altar of the bad crap and the bad people with the outcome of life? Or are we going to get up and learn to dream and do something with the lessons that we've learned along the way? And that's what I encourage everyone. That's why, you know, there are dreams that can come out of tragedy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It is. It's like a seed sprouting out of the dark dirt, you know? You just don't know what's going to happen. And so the best thing you can do is just accept that it's part of life and how can you use it to better yourself. And I love that. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, and what I was going to say is there's a very big difference. You know, I'm somebody who zeroes in on certain words, and just based on a few things that I've gone through my life, I've circled back around to really examine where is that space between acceptance and surrender.
Mm.
You know, when I think of the word surrender, I see like a ship being taken over, about to be, you know, bombarded by the enemy, and you surrender by waving the white flag and say, powerless, powerless, I surrender, I surrender. And
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think that we should surrender to things. I do, however, think that there are points that we need to reach acceptance. And
Okay.
and you're able to say, okay, it is what it is. I am powerless to change the situation in front of me,
Hmm.
but I refuse to allow it to give me a negative emotional charge. I refuse to form a relationship, and I accept that this is what happened, this is how it is, and now to find my new path forward.
I love it. I love it so much. I am so appreciative of you, Dr. Tracy, and I want to respect your time. I'm so glad that you were able to sit with me for a few minutes today and share all of this knowledge. Thank you to everybody who checked in as well. And then if you want to know more about Tracy, we can find you on your website, on your Instagram.
Yeah, at Dr. Tracy Kemble is my Instagram. I have all sorts of wonderful hashtag female boss formulas for those of you women who want to celebrate your divine feminine and also be able to make a lot of money doing it. And there's drtracy.tv, and we have a wonderful success community on Facebook called the Be She Community. So you can join us over there for lots of inspirational stuff. And I just am so proud of you. And I wish you the greatest luck. And I hope this is the next step to many, many, many more books that you're going to author and pen, because you have such a unique and special voice. And using the beauty of writing to share it, the world needs to hear it, my beautiful Rose.
Oh, thank you, gorgeous Tracy. It was so lovely to speak with you. Thank you again. I appreciate you, and I am looking forward to talking to you again soon.
See you soon. Bye bye.
Bye.